Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're looking at Columbia County. This is kind of a first look. I have not seen this map at all. I like it that way. I kind of like not knowing what I'm going to get, and I'm a gamer, just showing gamers maps pretty much for the most part. We do some other stuff as well, as I will show you. We've just started streaming on my channel, so if you go down here to the first videos, we're not that great at it. It's pretty good laugh, but I'm streaming a lot of old iron play, especially on the old country life map. I'm kind of held off for a few days while I'm doing all these videos for modhub.us, trying to get caught up. My 13-year-old son's doing NASCAR Heat, and my 11-year-old daughter, she's doing PVZ Naperville. As far as this map goes, this is Columbia County, Wisconsin. It's version 1.0. They have some fixed barns in it, and of course, the rest of the stuff here, which is the multi-terrain angle is pretty cool, but talks about the sell points and stuff, and the credits goes to Dairyland Maps. So we're fixing to dive in, take a look at it. We don't need that. Got some pretty unique fields in it, little islands in them and stuff. Kind of like it. So nothing really squared up. A lot of unique fields. It's got a river going up through here, looks like. Billy Bob's grain sawmill and a barn up here on the right. We got animal placement here. As far as what you own, doesn't show anything on yet. And we got three locations that you can, or two locations that you can pretty much sell pretty much the bulk of your crops in. Of course, the barn's up there in the top right. It will make for a little bit of a drive on this big of a map, but I really like the unique fields and stuff about it. You do have jobs. You don't start off with any animals, of course, and all the money looks right. Garage, there's nothing in the garage. So starting out at 100,000 balance, maybe a little bit of a struggle starting out in single player mode. It doesn't mean that, of course, that it would be too awful or not be able to do it. I seen this little spot here coming in. Plus, there's a bunch of stuff up here. So, I mean, for somebody like me, I actually like grass a lot and making silage and stuff. So, I mean, if the land is right, which it's pretty cheap up this way, that there's purchasable, 202,000 there. You can drop like Hoots Camper in for a house trigger and to have a little place to sleep if you want it. Plenty of lands here that doesn't cost too much, so you wouldn't really have to go that much in debt in a single player mode. But if you just really want a good, easy start, maybe go into it and kind of, well, like multiplayer mode or something like that. Let's get up in there and look around a little bit. So we're starting off here at these silos. And I would definitely want a house. As long as, if the map is 100% buyable, I mean, you could take something and buy a place like this, which would be a beautiful farm. And you can start with something like this, and then you could drop the camper or something next to this house, which is in game anyway. And then you would have a sleeping trigger, and you would have this whole area up here to be able to start off in. This is the edge of the map. Nice looking gas station. But this is version 1, so as far as, like maybe a border around it or thickening up some trees around it and stuff could all come later. If that's just something that you want, you can always add it yourself. But pretty much with, like I said, if everything is viable, that would really open up the possibilities of places to live. This is one of those times where I wished I actually loaded up the camper where I could have showed that for this mount. But it is a nice looking mount. It's not all flat. You got some rise and falls. You actually have, and I've actually said this before. I mean, where I live, even on the county roads, all of our roads pretty much are raised like this. You need that to be able to have drainage and keep the water off the road and everything, have ditches like that. There's a sign down right there. But that's no big deal. We've got a sign down on our last map that just won't stand up for nothing. But it has a really proper feel coming down through here. It looks like some rural areas that would be in my neighborhood. So you do have gas sales here. So like I said, there's another house that would be good. And there's actually a house like that that has triggers on it that's on modhub.us. Just do a search for house, and then you'll see the word trigger on it. But I really like the lines and the feel of the roads, the fields being a little bit unique in shape. It really has a proper country feel about it. And as far as adding housing triggers and stuff, if the map author is having issues with that, I might can get you some help on that if you're wanting to add it later on. Maybe not me personally. I really need to get Kaz or Johnny to show me how so I can add it to some maps to help people out if they need some help, to kind of help some modders out. These country roads and stuff like this and these dirt roads, every single farm on this map looks really nice. It's like here's your end game starting house here. You can even use that as a starting area. This and this farm here would be a really nice start. Then pick these up. This would make another nice farm up here as well. So I mean, all the farm setups and everything that's done. Check this island out here. Okay, so farmers wouldn't mess with something like that. So I mean, the map author knows a little bit about farming, clearly. But most farmers probably wouldn't come all the way down here and leave that. But I actually like it. It gives it more of a feel to being right by doing that. You can always carve this up and add to it. The little woods area don't look bad at all. You even got some swampy areas in it. Here's another one with the in-game house here. Make a really good starting area. That's what I'm saying. Every one of these farm areas they have set up looks really nice. I mean, any of them could be used. I may edit my video and bring up the camper and I'll show y'all what it looks like. Okay, so I went to modhub.us. All I did was type in camper and it's still the first one that comes up. This is what it's going to look like and this is what it's called. So you can do a search for placeable camper, bring it up. But I would just do camper, and as soon as you see this, literally if you take that camper and you buy you some land, you're talking about $2,500 and you get a sleep trigger for your house. and it's in a lot of maps. It is something, if you really pay attention to the game, it's a camper that you will see in a many maps, usually just sitting around in the yards and stuff like that. Little swampy area here. So that's a nice little touch, like I was saying. You got your little river flowing through here, and it's bleeding over into this section. Nice touch. And I can't get over how nice this country feel is about this map. And we're back up to town. The ditches is not so deep that if you come down through here and you swing out that you're going to have a great big headache with something like Michigan. So that pretty much takes us around and shows us what we get and everything. I do wish there was a few more sell points in it throughout the map because it is a large map. Because if you're down around 5 and 13, you're going to have such a drastic drive to go all the way north and stuff. But this is only 1.0, and I think the map author really knows what they're doing. It's just that simple. If not as far as the game, that really doesn't matter. But I'm talking about this map modder knows what it's doing good enough to make a map and have a really true country feel. Give it a nice look about it. It's not all flat. You got some unique lands. This map has a lot of positives going for it. So for version 1, I'm looking forward to seeing future updates on it. Hats off, great job on this map, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on and off notification as you so choose if you don't want, because we upload a ton of videos and streaming now. If you can sub up and come in and say hi and stuff, it'd be great. Take care and have fun, everybody.